Hi, I want to talk about the book Still Life with Tornado by A.S. King. So this story follows this girl who is 16 years old, and something happened in her class, in her art class specifically, that caused her to just be so upset that she decides that she's just not going to go to school anymore. So at 16 years old, she has decided that she is going to drop out of high school. Of course, her parents are upset by this, but her parents are going through a really difficult time in their marriage right now. So their daughter, whose name is Sarah, just, exacerbates the situation at home. Of course, it's not her fault what her parents are going through, but she still can't help but feel just kind of out of place and like she has nowhere to go. So she then describes that she's starting to go through this, what she says, existential crisis. And as she's wandering around the streets one day, not going to school, she runs into this girl and realizes that this person that she's run into is herself at 23 years old. And they start talking, and she thinks she's having a hallucination. Later on, she meets her 10-year-old self, and they are also talking and trying to remember this whole trip that her family took with her older brother when they went to Mexico, that she has kind of blocked out of her memory, but her 10-year-old self reminds her of a lot of the things that happened on that trip, which explains a lot of what's going on just in her family. Eventually, she also meets her 40-year-old self, and still this whole time she's thinking these are hallucinations, that she doesn't know what's going on, until one day she is there as 16-year-old Sarah talking to herself at 10 years old, and her mom comes in and recognizes her. So when 16-year-old Sarah sees that her mom is talking to 10-year-old Sarah, she realizes that something else is happening, something bigger is happening here, that she's not hallucinating because her mother is seeing this person as well. So really, all of these Sarahs come together to try to help her in going through what happened at school, trying to help her with what's happening with her parents and their marriage falling apart. She has an older brother who has been just disconnected from the family for the past 6 years, so she's trying to, get back in contact with him. And this just gives a lot of insight into, family dynamics and how one person might think that they had an insignificant experience, but it just sets off a whole lot more things that they didn't even realize that they were coping with. So it's very well written. Just the nuances of when she's talking to these different Sarahs, all of the stuff that she realizes about her family, and just brings it all together in this wonderfully written piece of literature. So I highly recommend this one as your next read.